You're listening to the Industry Alchemist podcast. The definition of alchemy is a seemingly magical process of transformation or creation. This podcast exists to hear the stories of entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders doing just that in their industry. We hear about the journey of the brave souls carving a new path, moving their industry and our lives forward in a seemingly magical way. This episode is brought to you by OfficeChief.com. Office Chief exists to make moving your office easy and painless. Moving an office can be a big hassle. On top of running your company, you're thrown into having to figure out what to do. Hire space planners, furniture companies, movers, IT consultants, the list goes on. It only takes 2 minutes to create a profile, and Office Chief gives you a step-by-step action plan and connects you with the top vendors in your market. Moving your office? Log on to OfficeChief.com and make it easy. I'm your host, Matt Brower, co-founder and managing broker of Column Commercial Partners, helping companies save money on their real estate. I'm also founder and CEO of OfficeChief.com, an online resource for businesses moving their office or updating their space. Hey guys, welcome to the Industry Alchemist podcast. I'm your host, Matt Brower. Today's guest is a finance professional that does a lot of work with early stage Colorado companies. After graduating from CSU with an accounting degree, he served as CFO for a few companies over the years until he began his Fractional CFO career in 2011. Now running Ascent CFO Solutions, his team helps many Colorado companies with financial and growth strategies. He chose to become a CFO for hire because he loves entrepreneurship, working closely with teams and who are building high-growth businesses and helping new and established companies reach their potential. Thank you for being here on the show, Dan DeGolier.
Matt, thanks a ton for having me. This is really fun. I'm excited to talk to you today.
Absolutely. I'm trying to remember. You and I have known each other for probably 3-4 years now. I'm trying to remember who introduced us originally. But we were sitting here on site in your office up in Boulder and first met you in the coffee shop downstairs, Ozo.
We were at Ozo downstairs when we first met, yeah.
Right.
I can't remember exactly who introduced us either, but...
Yeah, it was a while ago, but then, we've gotten to know each other quite well over the years, both gotten involved in EO, Entrepreneurs Organization.
Yep.
And, let's jump into that, actually. EO has been just a massive... positive impact in my business and my kind of entrepreneurial journey. What has been your experience since you've been involved now for about 3 years?
About 3 years, yeah. No, it's been great. So EO it's a global organization, but there's regional events, there's chapter events. But for me, the magic happens at the forum, right? So a forum is made up of 8 or 10 people in a room who get together once a month and really just talk about business, personal, and family issues and try to go deep, try to go 5%.
Wow. And it's, so it's everyone else in the room is a business owner just like you.
Everyone's a business owner and who's to qualify.
Right. It's kind of like group therapy for us entrepreneurs.
It is a lot like
Much
that.
Much needed.
No, it is. We joke about that there tends to be a very much of a group therapy type feel to it. And,
yeah.
We go get vulnerable and share things. So
yeah.
it's been really valuable to my business.
That's great. Were you doing anything like that prior to EO?
I wasn't. No,
okay.
I wasn't. And it was I specifically sought out something that would give me that sort of support system that you don't really have as a sole as the sole owner of the business. I don't really have an executive team.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I would say a very common theme among people that we have on this show. We talk about the need for mindfulness and the need for being authentic and vulnerable with your peers and everything. Was that hard for you to sink into, having not really done that prior to your forum group?
It wasn't hard, actually. I think I found a great forum that I was able to really connect with pretty quickly, and so I think I had been really seeking that group that I could get vulnerable with and could really go deeper with. So
yeah, I think it's incredible. It's like how you do anything is how you do everything. So whether you think it does or not, some issue you're having at home is definitely going to impact your business or vice versa.
Definitely.
And that's a great place to kind of work all that out. Just get it out of your head.
Indeed.
Get advice from your peers. So
Indeed. Yeah,
that's great.
It's been a great experience so far.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk I know that you have provided mentoring, and I know that you serve on some boards for some Colorado companies, some incubators. Wanted to learn more about what you're doing. You work with a lot of earlier stage companies in Colorado, a lot of the entrepreneurs here. Tell us a little bit about kind of that journey, if you can, who you're kind of working with in terms of mentorship and that sort of thing.
Maybe I'll start by giving a little bit of background of how I came to starting Ascent. I was with a early stage after working with a number of high growth companies. I had taken a role at a pretty early stage company in Boulder and identified that they needed CFO help. They needed help building a model, building a forecast, raising around a venture capital, but they were pretty early stage, and they really couldn't afford a full-time CFO. So that was sort of my light bulb moment to say, wouldn't it be interesting to support more than one company? What if I was CFO and could be at a strategic level for 2 or 3 or 4 different companies at a time? And so that was my light bulb moment in 2008. Then in 2011, I started doing exactly that. I started working with multiple companies as a fractional CFO. I was under the brand of DeGolier Consulting at the time. We eventually renamed the company to Ascent CFO Solutions in 2015. But the sort of impetus for the whole thing was that we can provide all those things that you would want from a full-time CFO. Again, the financial modeling, the cash flow forecasts, the accounting automation, but on a buy by the byte type model, right? So the companies are getting the strategic support they need from a CFO just for the hours that they need that strategic side.
Right.
When it comes to closing the books, they get a controller at that rate. If it's the transaction stuff, senior accountants. So our team is made up of 20 people.
Yeah.
Half of us are CFOs, the rest are controllers, senior accountants, and accounting managers.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like a perfect fit. What's the catalyst for needing to hire somebody like you? Is there a revenue threshold? Is there a
It's
team
usually when a
size?
company's going through a transformation. So
Okay.
maybe
Of
they're
any kind.
about to raise a round. They've just raised a round. They're going through revenue growth. So we work with venture-backed companies, angel-backed companies, and bootstrap companies that are growing through cash flows.
Okay, great. Yeah, and so that makes so much sense. I'm thinking of my company. I might have a need for, 3 hours a week, if that, for that level of financial kind of strategy and planning. But outside of that,
Our best engagements is where our CFOs really engage as part of the executive team.
Okay.
So there may be a day a week or 2 days a week, but they really step in, engage as part of the management team. They're in the executive strategic sessions.
Yeah.
They're in the board meetings, and they are the right hand to the CEO. They're just not full time.
Right.
And so the advantage is, one thing that I've found as I've given a lot of thought to where we're going and where how we differentiate, is that the caliber of teammate you can get on a fractional basis can sometimes be higher than you can get on a full-time basis. You get a CFO in the prime of their career who's doing some great work, and they may not want to work for one company where they have to go down and process payroll and close the books, and in order to keep themselves busy for a 40-hour week, they kind of have to do everything. And the company
Right.
can only afford really one headcount in some cases for
Right.
early stage companies. Whereas the CFO gets the opportunity to work with 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different companies. Maybe one company's 2 days a week, and it's a growing SaaS company. Then maybe for a day a week they're working with a real estate developer. And maybe a half a day a week they're working with an online retailer. So they get a lot of exposure to different things as well, and they get to be very strategic in their role.
Right.
And so I can attract some incredibly talented CFOs to my team.
Yeah. What happens if one of your clients, you place one of your CFOs with one of your clients, they love them so much and they help them grow so much they want to bring them on full time?
You're just poking the soft part right now, Matt. Yeah, so that hadn't happened for a long time until last year. A couple CFOs got taken away by clients. At first, I was bothered. I was, I'm not thrilled about it, but my first reaction was frustration. But then I realized it kind of validates the model. We've got we've got really talented CFOs.
Right.
They perform great work for clients, help the clients get to that next level, and now they need full time, and they're pointing to that person, saying, "I really want this person." So it's tough because now we have to transition their other clients to other CFOs.
Oh, right.
Which is the biggest issue. But at the same time, it's good for the if it's what the CFO wants, and it's a great opportunity for them and the company. I'm not going to get in the way and prohibit that from happening.
Right.
I'd like to get compensated for it a little bit, but
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And hey, maybe they need some controller work still that they outsource to you guys.
That's been the case in some situations. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. What do you aside from obviously just being involved in helping other entrepreneurs? What drives you to getting involved in mentoring and kind of some of the incubators around town here, just kind of being in that?
Yeah. I mean, I love entrepreneurship, right? I mean, I started my career in public accounting, doing audit and tax, which was great for a while, and it was a good education. But I wanted to be involved in building things. So, mentoring over at Galvanize or doing some work with one of the accelerators is really interesting because I get to, be part of that. That small passionate team that's building something cool and something disruptive.
Right.
And so it really allows me to tap that entrepreneurial part of my bloodstream, I guess.
Yeah.
And get and go deep.
Are there any companies you've worked with that particularly struck you as interesting or transformational or?
I mean, a number. I probably won't name names here, but
right.
but yeah, there's been a few that have just been going through preparing for M&A. That's been one area that we've really enjoyed over the years. Is worked with several of our clients have exited, so we've been able to be part of that process, helping them with diligence, helping them with negotiating terms with the potential acquirers, working with the investment bankers if they've hired an investment bank. So that's been a very fulfilling part of what we've done, and some of it is just that strategic, those strategic meetings when you're looking at pricing strategies and go-to-market strategies and ways to really scale.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask a little bit of a self-serving question here, because I am not a numbers. I'm not drawn to finance and accounting and things like that. I very much more enjoy business strategy and marketing and sales, that side of business. Are there any themes that you see with your clients, particularly smaller, earlier stage companies that are, doing things wrong? Like what are the kind of the themes you see when you come in and you look at what's happening? What are people missing? What are companies just not thinking about enough of, that sort of thing?
Well, we've definitely inherited plenty of situations where a client has neglected their books for a while. They need to have the books cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I know some people get frustrated by that and say, well, how can you just neglect that? And I don't look at it the same way.
I know how, but no.
I don't look at it the same way. I look at it as, hey, when you're an early stage company, you want to build a product that people are going to buy and then get those people to buy it. Until you've established that you've built something that people are actually going to buy, it's okay to ignore some of the other administrative stuff for a while. But then you'll pay a little bit more when it comes time to clean it up, and you have to go back and maybe amend the tax return and restate your historical revenue recognition. But until you've really proven something, I don't fault people for not prioritizing spending money on finance and accounting in those early days.
Okay, so so it's just more of a, what I'm hearing is I'm not the only one. No, it's just more of a, it's okay to ignore it to a certain extent for now.
I mean, I'm not going to encourage people to do that, but I don't fault people necessarily if they're prioritizing again that very early stage where they're growing something from scratch.
I'll sleep better at
building
night
something
now.
disruptive.
That's great. So, what else do your customers really ask of you, get from you, in terms of what you're providing your team?
Yeah. So, I'll kind of recap a little bit on the model being so different than, so the fact that you can get a high caliber person who is doing, being your right hand strategic CFO, who is helping you really understand your cash flows, helping you build different scenarios of a growth 3-year rolling forecast financial model, who can run some scenarios around some ROIs on some marketing initiatives. So you can have that really talented person, working with them 12, 16 hours a week, and then so you're not paying the $200K plus salary for that person. You're paying the benefits there, and they also can stay above the fray around the politics of the organization in some cases. I can't imagine any companies have any politics or anything, but this person can come in, they can just do their job, really help with that strategic piece of the business, and then if there's closing of the books and you don't have an accounting staff, then you can have a 2-day-a-week controller who is overseeing maybe your full-time accountant. So we can really customize and tailor the team based on each client's needs. Yeah. So so it becomes a very cost-effective strategy, right? Rather than having to have a full-time employee in each of these different roles in those stages. And then we have plenty of situations though where clients where it evolves over time, right? They start out where they're working with maybe it's a day-a-week bookkeeper and a half-day-a-week CFO, and eventually they get to a point where they need a controller, and then they hire their own full-time bookkeeper. We help them. We're not a recruiting firm by any sense, but we'll help them, vet candidates and help them hire full-time people, and our role becomes more and more just the strategic CFO. Yeah. As it evolves over time.
And to speak really quick to the politics or whatever, it might not be politics at a small company, but it might be just headbutting, disagreements, and I can see where there's a lot of value in somebody on your team that's a little bit of an outsider looking into a situation, right, or a dynamic relationship. Yeah,
take an analytical view, look at the facts, right, present things, but not have maybe the same level of emotional investment that the founders would.
Right, exactly, over some strategy or disagreement or whatever. Yeah,
expense reports.
That's right. Yeah, expense reports. What's that office space? TPS reports. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And before I forget, how can our listeners reach out to you if they want to learn more, if they want to, if they think they're maybe ready for kind of the services that you're talking about here? Sure. What's the best way for them to find you?
So our website's ascentcfo.com. ASCENTCFO.com, okay. And my email is dan@ascentcfo.com.
Perfect. Easy enough. Easy enough. So let's jump to kind of more personal stuff. You're married. You're a father. How many kids do you have?
I have 3 daughters.
3 daughters. How old are they?
We are rapidly moving towards empty nesthood. Oh my God. I've got 2 daughters in college, and a third one is a freshman at Boulder High.
Okay. Which college are your first 2 going to?
My first one's at Oberlin College in Ohio, and my second daughter is at Pratt Institute in New York, in Brooklyn.
Okay. Wow. Spread out. That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you? I'm sitting here in this conference room looking out at the Flatirons at Boulder. Amazing view. What do you do for fun outside of work up here?
So I like to mountain bike. I like to ski, hike. So I guess the standard Colorado answer.
All the things that those mountains offer.
Yeah. I love to travel. I've about 4 years ago, my 3 daughters and I all got scuba certified. So that has been one of our activities as we've started to plan vacations. Nice. We've tried to do some scuba type destinations, and that's been a lot of fun.
Where have those been?
So our first one was in Cuba.
Oh wow!
Earlier I showed you a painting my daughter did of on that trip that when we were in Santiago de Cuba, all over the island, but. So that was our first dive trip, and then we went to Belize and did the Blue Hole and all that. That was spectacular. Oh wow! And then last year we did Cozumel. In between we did Croatia, we thought about doing some diving in the Adriatic, but it seemed like it was more trouble than it was worth.
Really? Yeah. That's right. You told me about. I went on my birthday trip last summer. You told me about
Hvar,
Croatia and Hvar Island.
Yeah.
Which was the best part of our trip. So thanks again for that tip.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. You're very welcome.
Yeah,
I thought you had a good time.
I wish that I would have spent an entire week there instead of 2 nights, but
You can always go back again.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, that's great. Great. Let's transition now to the rapid fire portion.
Okay.
And this is another chance for us just to get to know you on a personal level a little deeper. So tell us about any favorite books that you've read.
Gosh. So I kind of alternate between books for fun and books for work. I guess some business books that I've really found to be interesting. Obviously, Jim Collins' Good to Great is kind of a classic. That's one that I read a number of years ago. That I thought was pretty impactful. I really like Blue Ocean Strategy. That's all about disruption and how companies can come in and completely disrupt markets. So I think that's one I want to go back and reread again. It's been great.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I need to check that out too.
Yeah. And then, of course, Traction, the EOS kind of guidebook. We're a relatively, vertical firm, so we don't necessarily have a management team to really do a full, an EOS type implementation at our company. But quite a few companies have done that we've worked with, and it's really big within the entrepreneurs organization as well. EOS is a big thing there. So Traction's definitely one of my go-to books as well.
Okay. EOS standing for Entrepreneurs Operating System.
Correct.
Kind of like a methodology for operating a business.
Exactly right.
And then Traction is the book that basically sums up what that means, or gives you the structure to follow.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. The book is kind of the Bible around EOS. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, and I can see how you could enjoy that. I've read about the first half of it, and again, as I said, I don't really enjoy that. Structure is not my foresight or my my strong suit, my forte. Yeah. So no, I'm obviously it's great info, and it's how businesses scale. So I try my best to kind of keep that stuff implemented in our stuff too. But
I'm by no means an expert, but there's a lot of great implementers in Colorado. It seems like it's really becoming a standard by which a lot of companies operate.
Yeah, no, absolutely, especially in EO.
So Matt, one other book that I found was really useful was Simon Sinek's Start with Why. I don't know if you've come across that or not.
Absolutely, and I've seen a lot of his videos. I love that guy.
So a few years ago, when I was starting to realize that we were going through a transformation, and I was no longer just a fractional CFO, but I was actually running a professional services firm. I found this transformational aspect. I met with an executive coach, and the first homework she gave me was to watch some of Simon's videos and read Start with Why. And the other homework I had was to go talk to my people, some of my top CFOs at the time, and ask them why they choose to work for me, to work for Ascent CFO. They could earn, $200K or more base salary as a CFO, go to the same spot, go to the same desk every day, have regular, at the time we didn't have benefits. We now have health insurance benefits and 401K, but at the time we didn't have that. It was nice. People were 1099s.
Yeah.
And I asked my CFOs, and the responses were the same. There was themes that came across with everybody, which was flexibility and variety is what the CFOs really, really liked. The fact that they could work on a SaaS company one day and a manufacturing company the next, and then an online retailer the next was something that they found was really interesting. And then people who want a flexible schedule, maybe they've got a young family at home or things like that. So that was really telling. And then this morning, actually, before you came in to our offices here, I had our all hands team meeting, which we do once a month, and I asked kind of that same question, like, hey, besides flexibility and variety, is there anything else that you as a CFO or a controller or accounting manager or a senior accountant within Ascent, is there anything else besides flexibility and variety? And one of my CFOs made a comment that they also feel like they can fast track their professional growth because they're working with not just one company on a certain set of issues with one company. They're working with 2 or 3 or 4 different companies, and they get to face different kinds of challenges. And then they can come back to our team and bounce an issue around on our Slack channel or something. Say, hey, has anybody tried to integrate X with Y? Has anybody? What have people tried to find to solve this issue? And so that's been a kind of a fun collaborative process that people. That's our why.
Yeah,
is
cool.
is those types of things.
To kind of offer that as a lifestyle, really, to your team.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of the gig economy, not exactly, but it's kind of it's sort of on the periphery of the evolving gig economy.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, Simon Sinek's what that book is about, and I haven't read the book. I've seen there's a YouTube video of, I think it's a TED Talk that he gave, and it's people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Yeah,
and it's so powerful, and he kind of goes into that in detail. Yep. And we've done actually a lot of work in our company about for Column Commercial about that. So
excellent,
great.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
How about any of your favorite technologies that you use daily or weekly?
Gosh, so I have to say that my iPhone, I love it and I hate it. Right? I mean, it's such a distraction for everybody. It pulls you away from real face-to-face conversations and things. But it is my go-to device, right? Mm-hmm. It's got pretty much anything you need to access is in that
right there.
That stupid little device in your pocket.
Right. Yeah. Everything's up
so
in the
love
cloud.
Love it and hate it.
Fascinating. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm an Android user, but I won't hold any grudges.
Okay, sounds good.
What about what's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear? I mean, I guess I don't try to live through fear, first of all, but I would say that, this current climate we're in with, we've had so many companies have only seen a bull market. So many companies have just seen this 10 years worth of bull market. Now we're starting to see, these coronavirus fears and things like that. So I think we are in somewhat of a state of irrational exuberance, kind of like in the .com days, like compared to that a little bit.
Yeah, I can see
we're not maybe quite as irresponsible in our decision making, but we're still, in a situation where people just haven't seen what happens in a down market. So from a business perspective, I guess my fear I have is that what's going to happen if the economy does take a pretty big drop. What's going to happen with all these early stage companies and high growth companies that have not had to face those sorts of challenges before. So we're trying to think about what does that look like, and with our background and experience, helping companies think about how they would navigate those waters.
Yeah, kind of hedge for that. Yeah, that's great. That's great. What are you most proud of about yourself or your company or your family?
Yeah, I would say my family and my company. I would, I've got three awesome daughters and a wonderful wife, and they're really they're very powerful women in all cases.
Yeah.
And in their confidence, and so I'm extremely proud of the family. And I'm really proud of the team we've built at Ascent. We've really got. I always say I can only grow the company as quickly as I can find A players to join the team. And we've just got some incredibly talented people who are, really delighting clients, and the whole company has grown through word of mouth. Right, I've never done any real marketing whatsoever. It's all been referral based from guys like you, Matt.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, that's great.
And so I'm really proud of that. We're doing some good things for clients.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And then last question: what is your superpower? What are you great at?
Oh dear. I wasn't prepared for that one, Matt.
No.
Superpower. What am I great at? I guess being able to see the big picture and maybe the underlying issues around a team. Being able to come in, evaluate all of the aspects of what's going on in a company, and maybe be able to try to find, in a relatively reasonable amount of time, figure out what some of the core cause of an issue is.
Wow, that's cool. That's a great talent to have. Well, this was a fun conversation. I really enjoyed learning more about Ascent CFO Solutions. Again, your website, ascentcfo.com.
That's correct, yep.
And your email is dan@ascentcfo.com.
Pretty easy.
Thanks for the conversation. Thanks for your, telling more of your story. And we'll keep the referrals coming.
Thanks a ton, Matt. No, it's been really, really fun, and I really appreciate the invitation to to chat here. I've listened to a lot of the podcasts on your show, and I'm happy to be in good company.
Cool.
Good work. Thanks for what you're doing for the community.
Appreciate that.
All right.